What would you do if the woman you swore to cherish was lying to you? Her location pin telling a story far darker than any nightmare. I never thought I'd be staring at a glowing phone screen at 2 a.m., a digital breadcrumb leading me not to Dallas but to a luxury hotel in Los Angeles. The night everything broke was a Tuesday. Started with a kiss goodbye, ending with the cold, hard truth of betrayal burning through my soul. My wife Sarah was supposed to be with her sister. That comforting lie shattered as I zoomed in on that red dot, pulsating mockingly on the map. The air in our bedroom, usually thick with her perfume, now felt suffocating, heavy with deceit.
How my heart hammered.
A drumbeat of disbelief and horror. She wasn't just visiting family, she was visiting a secret. A life she'd built without me. A life about to unravel. If you enjoy our stories, please subscribe, tell us where you're from, and what time it is. It's fascinating to know how far our story flows. Humiliation hit me first, a tidal wave of shame. It's not just betrayal, but the sheer audacity, the casual disregard for our vows, our shared life. Sarah was vibrant, charismatic. I fell for that light, believing it was for me. I saw it as a beacon for others, a lure. The initial shock gave way to a dull ache, a constant throb. I walked through our beautiful home, seeing only ghosts of happiness, echoes of laughter that now sounded hollow. Every photograph, every shared memory felt tainted, a cruel joke played on my unsuspecting heart. Then came the strange behaviors, subtle at first, almost imperceptible. Her phone, once left carelessly, was now always clutched in her hand, face down. Late-night texts quickly dismissed as work emails. Her once predictable schedule became erratic. Traffic, she'd say, arriving home an hour later than usual. I started noticing the small things, a new, expensive perfume, a receipt for a high-end restaurant not for our anniversary, a sudden aversion to intimacy, tired, honey, or long day. The excuses piled up, forming a wall between us, a wall I was slowly, painfully, starting to see through. The slow discovery was agonizing. I wasn't actively looking for proof at first, just trying to make sense of the growing chasm between us. But the signs were everywhere. One evening while she was in the shower, her phone buzzed. A text preview flashed across the screen. "Can't wait for Miami next month, my love. XXO, Mark. Miami." She hadn't mentioned Miami. My blood ran cold. I didn't open the message. Couldn't bring myself to violate that last shred of trust. But the damage was done. Mark, the name echoed in my head. I remembered a colleague she'd mentioned, a new hire at her marketing firm, always so charming. The pieces began to click into place. Sarah, once my loving partner, became cold, manipulative. When I tried to talk, she'd turn it around, accusing me of being paranoid, insecure. "You're imagining things, David? I'm stressed with work. Why are you always so suspicious?" Her voice, once a comfort, now held a sharp edge. She'd gaslight me, making me question my own sanity, my own perceptions. She'd flaunt her independence, her late nights, her business trips, daring me to challenge her. She truly believed she was untouchable, cloaked in a veil of lies, protected by my perceived weakness. I remember one particularly dark night, sitting alone in our living room. The city lights of New York twinkling outside like indifferent stars. I felt utterly broken. The man I was, who believed in love and loyalty, was crumbling. The pain was physical, a constant pressure on my chest. I cried, silently, tears streaming down my face, not just for the loss of my marriage, but for the loss of myself. I felt like a fool, a cuckold. But amidst the despair, a flicker ignited, a cold, hard resolve. If she wanted to play games, I would play them better. From that moment, the broken man began to transform into a strategic one. I started gathering proof, meticulously, patiently. I hired a private investigator, a quiet, efficient man named Frank, who worked out of a nondescript office in Queens. Frank's reports were clinical, devastating. Photos of Sarah and Mark holding hands, kissing, entering a boutique hotel on West 44th Street. Receipts for expensive dinners, plane tickets to Miami, all under Mark's name. But with Sarah's credit card used for incidentals, I even found a hidden folder on our shared computer. Filled with their intimate emails, their plans for a future that didn't include me. Each piece of evidence was a nail in the coffin of our marriage and a brick in the foundation of my revenge. My plan was elaborate, designed to hit her where it hurt most: her reputation, her finances, her carefully constructed image. I consulted with a divorce attorney, a sharp woman named Ms. Davies, whose office overlooked Central Park. "This is more than enough for an at-fault divorce, David," she said, her voice calm, "and for significant financial repercussions." But I wanted more than just a divorce. I wanted her world to implode. I started subtly leaking information to mutual friends. "Sarah's been so busy with work lately. Hardly see her," I'd say, knowing they'd connect the dots when the time came. I also began documenting her lavish spending, her secret accounts, preparing for the financial ambush. The public exposure was meticulously planned. It happened during her company's annual gala, a glittering event at the grand ballroom of the Millennium Biltmore Hotel. As she stood on stage, basking in the applause, I walked up to the projectionist, a nervous young man, and handed him the drive. "Urgent presentation update," I whispered. The screen behind Sarah, moments after her acceptance speech, flickered. Then a slideshow began. Not of her achievements, but of her and Mark. Photos from the hotel in New York, the restaurant receipts, the Miami plane tickets, the intimate emails, all projected in glorious, high-definition detail. The room erupted into gasps. Then a stunned silence. Sarah's face, moments ago radiant, drained of all color. Mark, who was in the audience, tried to slink away. Sarah was completely ruined. The divorce was swift and brutal. Ms. Davies ensured she received nothing but the clothes on her back. Her company, reeling from the scandal, fired her. Her reputation, once her most prized possession, was in tatters. Friends abandoned her, disgusted. She tried to sue me for defamation, but the evidence was irrefutable. She lost everything: her career, her social standing, her financial security. I saw her once, months later, working as a cashier in a small grocery store in a forgotten corner of Brooklyn, her eyes hollow, her once vibrant light extinguished. She didn't see me, and I didn't approach. The silence that followed was deafening, a cold, empty space where a life once thrived. The end.